You're live, Jay.
Wait.
Hello,
Nahugot.
Jay.
Live? Are we live?
Yes, we are. Go, Jay. Jay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
Hello?
okay na ta. We're on. We're live.
Okay, sorry. Naghang. Okay. Okay, good evening sa tanan viewers. Welcome to the talkback portion of the Mindanao Film Fest Strikes 2019 Strikes Back. This is the second day of the rerun. We had the first wave. We call it wave. We had the first wave yesterday. Yesterday night, last night. So kato. Um, you just saw the second wave of films. We just i-enumerate lang nato siya, no, ang mga nakita ninyo. We had Bus Terminal from Avery Clyde Dimasuhid. This is from um, Compostela Valley, Nabunturan, Davao de Oro rather. And then we have Alindahaw by Mary Claire Amora from Caraga from Butuan. We have Dina by Rod Villegas. This is from CDO, I think. And then we have Balut by Paul Ramirez. This one is from Davao. And we have another entry from Davao, ang pagbalik sa Ugat Hinungdan by Kisha Halili. And then we have a short film about growing up by Bryce Largo from Panabo. So, yun. By the way, I'm Jay Rosas. I'm the co-festival programmer of Mindanao Film Festival because ang akong kauban si Rudolph Alama, who is the festival director and also the one of the festival programmers. Kay wala siya tonight, no? So, but I will not be alone because ay na si Rudolph. Nasaan ni surprise?
Wala, nakauwi na ako. Actually, galing ako sa birthday na kay Pamangkin. That before
Ay,
that,
okay.
hello, good evening pala. But before that, may nag-talk back, may Q&A din ako with Cine Club. It's a school-based film festival in Manila, Quezon City.
Ayun yung tinanong mo last time.
So, 24 cuts.
So, mabuti naman nakahabol ka, Dolph.
Okay, sino mga nasa backstage?
We already have the filmmakers, some of the filmmakers in the backstage, but we also have a special guest, no? Kilala mo na ba yung special guest natin for tonight? Surprise din. Okay, so we have a guest co-host, no? Let us please welcome Miss Ryanne Murcia. Hello, Ryanne, ng gabi. So, Ryanne is one of the jury members of last year's Mindanao Film Fest. So, nakita niya ni ng mga entries, no? The ones that we have screened 2 hours ago. And we thought of inviting you, right? Because you also, aside from being a jury member, you saw the films, no? And maybe you could participate in the discussion, no? So it would be naisip naman na medyo nice siya na discussion to have you here as part of the talkback. And Ryanne, by the way, is the Mindanao representative to the Committee on Cinema of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, NCCA, no? So we are very lucky na kuan.
Cine de Paz.
Yes, the festival director of the festival Cine de Paz Mindanao, which is in Zamboanga City.
Cine Paz pala.
Cine Paz, sorry. Okay, hello Rai, welcome. Mayong gabi.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me tonight. Such a great honor because some of these films were also screened in our festival. So it's not my first time to see these films. And also, thank you for inviting me because in a way, this is also a form of NCCA's participation in these kind of activities, especially because it's MFF. It's one of the longest, if not the longest running film festival in Mindanao. And thank you for doing this because it really helps a lot more filmmakers and film enthusiasts and also people to be exposed to film and learn from it and also enjoy it at the same time. So thank you.
Okay, once again, welcome. And tama ka, no? This is a good opportunity. Last night we were talking about how this pandemic also created a shift in the way we
Yeah.
experience and consume films, which is now being done online. No, so we are also keeping up with the trend, so to speak. So tonight, second wave na siya of the screening. And I guess we start introducing no the filmmakers kay medyo mas daghan-daghan yata sila tonight than last night, no? So we start with from Nabunturan or Davao de Oro from representing the film Bus Terminal, Avery Clyde Di Masuhi. Hello, Avery, if you are there, magparamdam ka.
Avery.
Avery, wala pa siya.
Nakamute siya, I think.
Saan ang espiritu ni Avery?
Not a connection problems with Avery, so we'll
Okay.
try to figure that
Okay.
out.
By the way, we have in the background Dax Cañedo and Ivan Tadena, so they will help us kung na yung mga technical glitches. So, di lang mo mag-wonder na yung mga mukalit lang sa so, the next one would be the director of Amahan, Namo, si Carlin Gilte. Hello, Carlin, are you there?
No.
Yes po.
Hi,
Hello,
Carlin.
good evening. Hi.
Si
She's
Carlin is
also part of
from,
Festival de Cinepas. So.
yes. Carlin is from Sindangan, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
nakakaroon diha sa Sindangan?
Yes, na ako karon sa Sindangan. Kaya di
How
pa
far
pwede
is that
magbiyahe.
from Zamboanga City? Malayo. Kasi
Very
diba,
far.
Zamboanga-
8
Ah,
far.
Zamboanga.
8 hours.
4 to 5 hours away from Zamboanga.
But if you're gonna
Yeah.
take the bus, it's gonna take you 8 hours, right?
Katong anha may pag festival ni Cinepas, it took
Right.
mga nagbiyahe mi 2 AM and then ni arrive mig 8. So
Okay. Near,
Yeah.
relatively near. Yeah. 6.
mga 5 to 6 hours. Kaya wala may mga cars.
Mm-hmm.
So sa mga geographically challenged, ang Sindangan is in Zamboanga del Norte, no, which is in the north.
Yes.
And then
It's a beautiful
Zamboanga City
town.
is somewhere sa south, no. So different areas. So the next we have from the film Alindahaw, represented by the filmmaker herself, si Mary Claire Amora. Hello, Claire, are you there?
Hi.
From Nasipit ata. Nasipit, Agusan.
From Nasipit, yes, Agusan
Yes.
del Norte. Hello, maayong
Hello.
gabi. And then we have the director of Dina, si Rod Villegas. Nakakadiha, Rod.
Hello? Yeah, hello. Okay. Tama. Hello, madunggan ko? Sorry.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, Rod.
Hello, mayong gabi.
Hello, maayong gabi. Are you in Cagayan de Oro karon?
Excuse me. Medyo choppy. Ano to? Sorry.
For you from Cagayan.
Nakakaroon sa Cagayan de Oro?
Oh, yes. Oo, nako karon sa Cagayan de Oro. And sorry, medyo medyo hina yung internet karon sa Cagayan de Oro, especially sa mong internet provider. Sorry.
Okay.
Anyway.
Sige, atong paningkamutan. Okay, we also have from the film Balut, the director himself, Paul Ramirez. Na kaniya, Paul?
Let's also
Wala
recognize
si Paul,
Nikho.
but
Nikho from Amahan.
we have the actor from the film Amahan nato, si Nikho Poro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi, Nikho.
So the Balut will be represented by Nikho. Hello, mayong gabi.
Gabi.
And we have from the film, ang Pagbalik sa Ugat Hinungdan, the producer and cinematographer, si Coicoi Nacario. Hello, Koy.
Hello,
Master.
gabi. Iba talaga. Hindi ko iba Dacario. Fan na kami.
Gabi.
So, medyo bibo ta karon no kay napa one last person who will join us is the director of the last film that we've screened, si Neo Bryce Largo of a short film about growing up.
Hello.
Hello.
Neo is in Panabo, which is just outside Davao City. Pero yun, outside Davao City na siya. Pero doon na kayo siya sa Davao in a way. So, kato, mayong gabi sa tanan. Thank you for joining us. Medyo bibo ta karon di daghan kayo compared last night. So, siguro before we go into the discussion, siguro I think it's right na kumustahon muna mo isa-isa, no? How have you been during the pandemic? Tapos, have you been keeping yourself busy sa inyong mga projects na ginabuhat despite the pandemic? Or kung wala man, how are you coping up? So, basically, kumustahan? So, maybe start with Carlin na lang. Hello, Carlin.
Hello. So, makabuang din ang quarantine for now, but so far okay ra baya pod. Namaligya na lang para makakuha og budget for another film soon. So, yeah. So far okay ra gid siya. Lami ra man sa day magpundo sa balay then quality time with the family ba. So far so good. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Carlin. Si Rod, kumusta ka, Rod? Sa mong gikabisihan?
Mayong gabi sa tanan. Okay lang pud ko. Unta okay lang pud mo diha. Medyo busy kay most of like kumbaga content based na ang lakaw karon sa new normal. So ang di madunggan. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
So medyo busy ang let's say ang digital world. So ang atong service ang video business na medyo busy karon. So luckily medyo fortunate enough nga nakatrabaho ta at home. So thankful ta na.
Okay, salamat, Rod. How about Koy? Si Koy he's just 10 minutes a ride away from where I am. So, but anyway, kumusta na doon sa ang crime tang nila diya? I think nakamute ako eh.
Pag sugod sa ECQ, lisod siya kay wala jud mi project. Wala pundo na pud mi dire but maay na lang kay pagbalik sa katong kumbaga na-open na tanan kay nagsugod naman pud noon og kanang balik among clients. So sa mga wala nakabalo na ako gamay business sa kaning video production gihapon. So we're doing corporate videos and also karon arang-arang na siya. Ato.
Okay, salamat Koy. So slowly going back to the grind, no? Si Neo, kumusta si Neo?
It's also from Cinematographer, di ba?
Yes, Neo is also from Cinematographer Davao.
So kato, padayon og trabaho, naga screenings mi gihapon online. with Pasaridahay, and also recently Mindanao Film Festival. Kato usually trabaho lang o naay ginagmay nga mga side projects. So
Trabaho lang, walang personalan, ganon.
ano
Si Nico. Imagine, wala si Nico.
Napod tayo problem po sa connection ni Nikho.
Okay, si Claire from Nasipit.
Okay. Hello. Actually na ako sa Cebu karon, stranded ko kauli sa Mindanao, pero okay ra sad.
Mas tighter ang ano sa Cebu, di ba? Mas tighter ang measures diha. Are you still on ECQ?
Mas strict. Ang GCQ na, pero ang mga tao or mga badlungon, murag hapon.
Okay, sige. Si Nico nabalik na siya.
Pabuto ko madunggan. Ay, nakoy madunggan po.
Nag-loading si Nico. Sige, how about i-check na lang po nato wala pa tanong kumusta kay Ryan. How are you, Ryan? You are in where and how are you doing right now?
I'm great. Wow. Yun nakakagped. No, I'm fine. I'm in Ipil right now. I'm with my family. The longest I've been with my family since high school, and that's like
wow,
10, 12, 11 years ago. Tigo lang na kay ko, my God. Anyway, so I'm with my family right now for the quarantine and doing film jobs and at the same time making ice cream.
Yes. Later, ipapromote na to na later. Si Nico. Kumusta si Nico? You're back.
Ay, walay lingaw ka ng trabaho kagyapon niya. Negosyo po kamay. Pero kato mo ka may lingaw during quarantine kay lisod din kayo, especially diri sa Cebu. Daghan kay cases niya dili pwede magawas-gawas yun. Pero other than work
Cebu,
o negosyo kay mo tabang pod like mag-send og mga help like the other week kay nag-send mig mga food and kuan, so mga ginana outreach pod ko ginagmay.
So naka sa Cebu ka ron, wala ka sa Davao.
Yes. What?
Okay, so magulat og mga questions from our viewers no, but for the meantime, before ta mag-entertain og questions, nakay kuan Dolph, nakay gusto ipangutana sa atong mga filmmakers.
Naka-mute?
Naka-mute, Doc.
Kasi yung last night may tanong tayo no, yung with the pandemic, ano yung tuloy ba yung ating mga ano yung maplano ninyo in regards to your craft no? Tuloy meron ba kayo mga kwento na gusto i-shoot, ano yung gusto niyo projects na i-pursue even with pandemic, no? Saka may tanong dito si John Denver. Okay. Yung may question ako, yun yung questions for the filmmakers. Hindi pandemic. Sinong unahin? Si Carlin siguro?
Yun po. Question.
Yung question is, with the pandemic, tuloy ba yung, kamusta na yung ating yung mga activities natin, yung initiatives natin in pursuit of our craft, no? May mga upcoming mga projects ba tayo to shoot or may mga ano yung process sa production ng mga projects nila?
So, as of the moment po, wala talaga since may mga health problems po ako. So, I'm really not allowed to go out for now. So, edit na lang ng videos for other people na lang. Sometimes, gano'n na lang. Mga content shoots, photography shoots lang, mga ganyan. But for the film pa, medyo wala pa for now. But I'm planning to make a film or parang short clip lang. I like 1-minute film para mawala yung parang boredom and something. So, yeah.
Sino sunod? Si Rod.
Madunggan ba? Okay ba?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, unsa itong pangutana? Sorry na nalipat mo ko.
I-code ko lang din niya. I-segue ko na rin kay Real John Castillo. No? Kasi with this pandemic, may mga projects ba tayo? Ano yung mga, are we expecting an entry from you with this this year's festival? Like yung MFF, my online edition, do we expect an entry from you guys? Or we'll just wait it out for the pandemic na mawala then start to shoot? Rod? Rod?
Yeah, so ako din. Okay. Abi na ako nag-change og ano. Sorry. So, yeah, so karon so medyo nabulag lugar ang ano no. Kay same kang Sir Coicoi, naagapon ko kanang gamay nga business like videography business, and so karon na ako karon sa phase nga kanang rentals and services nga mga gamit inana lang sa. Then since mula gyud akong gi-mention ganina nga since tanan karon is ang kumbaga pandemic di na ta pwede mo gawas, so we live in the digital world basically. So so karon medyo ang services nato medyo gamit, so munang kabisihan karon. So ang writing aside sa ang developing side sa atong mga na-pause nga mga project is medyo ma-behind pa gyud sa gamay kay medyo loaded pa ang schedule. So wala sa siguro to no.
Okay. Sino nga? Si Neo.
Ako ang sasagot para kay Neo. Gusto niya. Go for it, Neo.
So kato, currently busy with work, and also naamon ta mi i-shoot atong summer pero wala na dayon kay tungod sa pandemic. Pero dili ako ang director mo, ako lang ang writer ato. So kana ginapadayon na mo og so and producers kay naga pre-prod lang mi og kato develop pa na mo further kay wala pa may mabuhat. Also with the creative side of things kay ako pod ang chief creative officer sa isa ka magazine, so nag-start up me og online magazine kay.
What's that magazine's name again?
Middle Magazine.
Middle Magazine.
Kana siya. Yeah.
Good write-up, by the way.
Thank you. How'd sila? Anyway, so kato lang sa ang kibisihan.
Sino sa Nasipit? Wala. Si Coicoi.
Yes. Sa karon film wise wala but naay nag-express og kanang gusto magpag-collaborate, pero hantod dadto pa lang so gaulat pa pod ko kung madayon ta, but kung naaman, well, I'm up for it naman bisag-bisag na pandemic because, well, pagbuhat ani, pagbuhat sa film ang good kay mo goal lang kay ang goal actually nako is kung as much as possible na ako film every year, short film, full length, okay lang So, kung makuha na ko siya this year, bisag na ani, well, mo risk yapon ko, pero of course na ang tawag ng pag sa tawag na kanang
Caution.
Caution. Yes, with caution of course, and following the of course kato mga protocol sa ato ang government.
Which is quite controversial because there's a lot of protocol going on.
Yes.
So, but let's not talk about it.
Yes. Kay medyo gubot doon.
And shall we?
Yeah. Next.
Okay, si Nikho. Mga projects, mga projects. Kasi actor, yung mga friends mo or may upcoming projects ba? Film sa inyong banda?
I'm interested to know the life of an actor this time.
Wow.
Yes, because Ryan is an acting coach, by the way, then, no?
Yeah, I mean, we know that a lot of big stars do not have a job currently and things like that. But I'm also very interested to know for regional film actors, how is it right now? Because we're not shooting yet, and I know how hard that can be for filmmakers and for actors as well. So how's your experience?
To be honest, I'm fine right now. It's just I'm focusing on like making myself better. For example, with my work, then with the businesses that I'm into. Right now, I'm just focusing on like wanting myself to be better, but like getting kumbaga emotional ko kung for me kasi kay I'm actually telling like Jill or other friends nga I know nga I really like to act or something. So naghatag yun ko og kanang interest ba. But right now, since most of my friends are actually unable to do films man pod, so I think what I'm trying to do is to get experience ba. I think manggod as an actor, kay the best way to get emotions out in every film or in every shoot kay by having it experienced ba in real life. So not necessarily the same, but kanang kung unsa like ang emotions like very hard emotions. So I like recently daghan kay nahitabo pud sa amoa, my family being quarantine, kay nagka-COVID, our house burned down. So mga inana ba like paghitabo recently, but right now we're standing up and kana maybe I can use that emotion ba in the future kung naay mo offer a project pod to release that certain emotion or on acting as well. So right now karon kay wala gid kaayo into like into film or something or acting, but focus on self lang sa yun ko kung unsay makapabetter sa ako upod o unsay ako magamit in the future if ever naapoy kanang mga i-offer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, clear up. Ayan. With the projects, with the pandemic, no, kamusta yung ating mga projects on film? Are you still planning to make one? And according to Reds, no, may plano ka ba mag-submit ngayong 2020 online Mindanao Film Festival?
This year, dili pa sure since ang team kay naman gud sa Mindanao and ako sa Cebu stranded ko, so limited ra akong resources, and then I don't know kung maka-submit ako. Hopefully unta na gusto ko mo submit gid sa Mindanao Film Festival because this will be my 3rd year if ever gud maka-submit ko, so hopefully unta na. But for now marag ginuna pa na kung saon sad kay wala koy kaila pa diri sa ayo.
That's good.
Okay, thank you, Claire. Sige, before we start entertaining questions from the audience, siguro my first question to everyone would be, kasi nakita nilang inyong mga films ganina, no? So what is the inspiration or motivation behind the film? Ngano to ninyo nabuhat, no? Mag-start ta kay Carlin.
So ang inspiration ako sa akong film kay ako ang lolo ug ang akong dad. Since I'm very close to both of them, gihimo na lang nako siya as tribute para nila. And then tungod sa ka-close na mo, akong ganahan ko i-change ang perspective sa mga tao with regard sa mga papa. Kay mostly manggod ang Filipino films, mostly ilang gina-portray ang papa nga mga bad boys like manigarilyo, kusog mag-drink. So, ako ganahan ko nga i-change na siya nga perspective nga though of course lucky man sila so makainom sila or whatever, but that doesn't mean nga bad people sila. So mo na siya ang inspiration sa akong film is to change lang yun the perspective of especially ang mga bata karon ug unsay lang makit-an sa salida mao man pud ilahang tuuhan. So kana akong gusto i-change. So yep, mo na akong inspiration.
So okay. Sino next, Jay? Si Rod? Kapuan tayo? The voice? Ano yung question ni Jay? What inspired you sa inyong yung paggawa ng yung napanood dating movie kanina?
Kinsa man
Rudolph. Rod.
Okay. Sige, ako, firstly, akong film is entitled Dina. Probably ako ang film na pinaka shortest. Wala mo guna ako nakita tanan film. So, akong film is like 5 minutes or below. So, actually, before mo proceed sa question nga inspiration to story is ako sa klaruhon nga Dina is not actually a short film. It is my tone piece, like a proof of concept sa ako ang ginahimo nga feature film. So dili siya ingon short version, it's just gusto lang ako ipakita unsa ang style, basically ang tone. So mo to siya. Then about pud sa inspiration na question, I gotta admit nga ako wala ko resources, and especially diri sa Cagayan, dili mi how do I put this in dili minana kadaghan nga into narrative filmmaking. Ang kasagara diri is videography. I don't know, di ko gusto mag-start og lalis about cinematography or videography, but most din is dili kayo into narrative filmmaking. So when it comes to resources like person nga nailhan gamay ra gid kayo. So kung mo proceed ta sa pangutana nga inspiration is budget wise gisulat na ko ang film nga Dina is based sa taong akong kaila para easy ang easy sa iya i-act ang story. Then story wise pod ang inspiration gid sa story is I don't know kung saan niyo pag-take, but most ako mga friends siguro sila na medyo OA in terms of storytelling, like vivid imagination inana. So simple lang ang concept adto, but ako lang gi-exaggerate kinda inana. So dili siya, when it comes to inspiration, imagination lang gito. But ang character is based gito siya sa real nga akong kaila, which actually ang nag-play adto. Sorry, medyo libog. Sorry po if dili klaro. Thank you.
Okay. Jay, sino next?
Si Neo.
Okay, hello everyone. So ako ang film is a short film about growing up. So mao to ang pinaka-last nga film nga inyong gitan-aw. So kato ang akong inspiration behind ato kay year murag around 2018 kay wala ko'y trabaho the whole year kay bag-o so pag-start ato nga year kay bag-o ko ni nasisantig trabaho, and then dagan kay kog changes sa akong life kay nihawa na ko sa akong boarding house sa Davao, so nibalik ko sa akong hometown, and kanang pag-abot na sa hometown kay tanan ako mga amigo kay wala na dinhi kay may gani ng mga feelings, so murag ato nga time kay depressed kay ko unya murag gusto na ko nga nagbuhat og concept nga murag gusto na ko nga visceral gani nga ma-feel sa audience ang pain nga na-feel nako. So so kato ang struggle og isa pod sa akong mga inspirations ato kay nakoy na dunggan one time nakalimot ko kung asa na ako nato na dunggan nga murag the process of growing up is kanang the process of murag it's repeatedly killing yourself. So murag ginapatay nimo ang older version sa imong kagalingon. So basically murag maoto ang core sa story nga in the end nag-grow siya o gipili na niya nga pati niyang old self, which is kato iyahang kalam ko basta kato iyang old self. So kato medyo libog.
Sige, salamat niyo. Si Coicoi, pwede nimo ma-share Koy paunsa na sugod ang film, ngano siya nabuhat ninyo ni Kisha, unsa ang inspiration or motivation?
Yeah. Ang pagbalik sa Ugat Hinungdan, actually giduol mi sa Association of Psychiatrist, Philippine Psychiatric Association. So gi-commission mi nila to na magbuhat og film for their competition nila ba sa ilahang kumbaga national competition nila for the organization. So kato gibuhat na si Kim ang gid ang nag conceptualize ato tanan no, but of course guided siya with katong ato ang mga psychiatrist kung unsaon pag-deal and kumbaga ang pinaka background sa pag-abot sa kaning murag science sa psychology ba murag ana. So moto siya ang background, but sa pagbuhat pod of course na mi murag subject gihapon na gi-interview para kuhaan lang pod og kanang inspiration. So of course dili na siya pwede i-share kompleto, but kato siya ang amuang pag
so right from the start ba ang idea was parang to situate it sa katong context sa Rojas Night market bombing nabay
kailangan man pod good na since gihuna-una na mo to siya na well gusto of course mo represent bisag gi-commission me gusto pod na mo somehow na i-represent gid siya sa Davao na though sa Davao, so para mas ma-localize to siya giagid jud na mo og kanang ingon nato sa district kayo ang Ross Night Market. So gibutang tama ka diyan, gibutang namo siya dadto pod partly sa story.
Okay, thank you. So
I have a question.
Yes, right.
What's that?
You have a follow-up?
No. I have a question for everyone.
Hindi
pa tapos.
Question.
Go lang.
Sige.
Okay.
Si Nikho.
Claire. Okay.
Sige, si Claire. ang question was, unsa ang inspiration sa film? Ngano siya nimo nabuhat?
Taho is based siya sa real stories, or should I say true events that happened sa among hometown, particularly sa election season, and I grew up hearing those stories. And then some of the scenes gani sa film kay Od. And then our film supposedly is submit kinamo sa Sinibugsay, and then it's the first film festival sa Caraga, so we wanted it to be impactful. So and then Sinibugsay last year is into election, I think, and May 13 it's mid-election. So moto nga naka-arrive mo sa concept na about political vote buying because we think na it's very timely and relevant.
Thank you. Si Nikho, although si Nikho ang actor sa film, no, nabay na share ang inyong director, paano nabuhat ang film, unsa ang iyang motivation or inspiration nga nang nabuhat niya tong film?
Pwede po unsang iyang inspiration in taking up the role. I think that would be more interesting.
Or if you could share katong tinugdanan sa film. Yes.
Okay. Sige, pag-share ni Jill actually sa ako sa story, I was kinda interested kay, to be honest, dili me close sa akong papa sa kuan. So we have this kuan kanang relationship ba nga kanang away, dili magkasinabtanay kay I don't know why, pero kanang growing up kanang inanagit ako na feel pa towards niya, but I know deep inside me nga love ni yapon ko sa akong papa, pero kato that's why I took up the kuan for di ko yun ako ang opportunity kay I think it's a way for me to channel it pa bisag dili sa akong papa kay ma-channel ako siya out kanang ang burden ang kuan, pero kato murag pagkakita sa akong papa po sa film kay ni katawa ra sila kay murag ang ilang gihon ako napod kay murag mao daw to akong ganahan tanan istorya sa akong papa, pero mao to. So ang gingon ni Gina kay ang ato to ay ganahan ko sa concept kay kato lagi kay ever since ganahan pud jud ko musabot pa what it is to be kuan nga inana nga situation na wala gyud nga kay kami kay although kanang inana akong feeling pero gina-providean man gud permit sa akong papa, so wala murag challenge pud siya nako ba kay kanang murag ang idea gyud kay kanang unsaon gyud nako pagstorya kay ako kay yung gyud ko kastorya sa akong papa kay kanaging para nako ginadawat lang gyud nako nga everything that he is doing is for my good. And kato basta naman to'y part sa film nga i-confront niya si Papa Rudy. So kana guro katong wag nasa akong deep inside me ba nga what if gina-confront ako papa, pero so mo to nga to gid ako na-realize nga with the story nga confrontation kay okay lang siya kung imong tumong kay mapasabot gyud imong papa or ang person, the other person. So mo nang naganahan yun ko sa story ni Jill, ni Carlin. And then, mo to, akong inspiration yun kay my own experience with my papa, with our family, and how it felt pa growing up na inana akong feeling na I feel like dili ako ang favorite or ang kuan na mas favorite akong mga ubang isoon. So, inana.
Sige, thank you, Nikho.
Thank you.
Pwede na ba nawala si Rudolph? Okay.
No, I have a question because I'm very interested to know. Most of you said that one of the components in your filmmaking, in your films, are real people. So I'd like to ask, how real are your subjects or your story from, how real are your stories or your films from the reality? From the people you inspired to make the films or situations you inspired to make the films? And how important is real people in making films? Let's start with Neil.
Ah, ayun. So, as I've said earlier, the film was based around
How
kato
about actors?
nga nag-breakdown na jud ko, slowly nag-breakdown ko for a year without employment. And kato lang, I think I can only tell that story gid. I think nga that story was for me to tell nga murag dili dili nako siya, wala nako siya na-imagine in any other way gani. So for me, important kayo to be real with what you're feeling, kay in writing that script, kay gi-purge gid nako tanang pain o kanang anxieties nako, kay murag nag-clash gid tanan didto sa atong nga short film, ang katong fear nako, akong mga fear about the future nga uncertain kay siya, ug ang ako ang sadness sa mga ginabilin nako behind. So I think it's very important kay in being yourself, you're also um, telling stories for a person nga may be experiencing the same thing as you are. So kato lang for me.
Thank you. Koi, and I know that it's inspired by a real event, but how close is it for you? I mean, the realness of the
Well,
experience translated
yeah.
to the film.
Mhm. Ah, kung sa realness, musulti ko, for me and Kay, um,
Mhm.
personal siya. Somehow personal siya bisag gi-commission me to do it, uh, tungod, of course, na me friends, well, and I think importante siya kay, well, it's about time na kumbaga matakel ni siya yung ngani nga issue, kay I think, well, napansin nako dili kaayo ginatakel ni na issue sa uban, well, sa uban festival, sa kumbaga dili siya common pod. So yeah, kung importante siya, well, for us, personal
Mm.
siya, so
Thank
importante
you,
siya.
Rod.
Sorry. Hello. So how far or how realistic ang amo ang story to
How real are
reality?
the no?
Yeah,
How
oo.
real are your subjects to reality?
Okay. So kana first things first, ang katong film nga akong gihimo is both combination to slice of life and I got fictional because kato siya is wala lang ako na tell sa short film kay since again proof of concept lang to siya, but ang sa story niya mismo is a combination of slice of life and a fiction because kato is girelay sa akong istorya, so medyo dili na ako maingon good fully kay even ang nag-ingon sa ako adto nga stories gi-secret siya basically ana. Then so I just so basically ang film is rooted about believing in lies. I don't know if na-relay na ako siya about good sa short film since dili proof of concept naman siya, but if you read the whole piece adto is about believing in lies. So pag-ingon how real is the character, same ako lang i-relay ganina nga the way na ko pagsulat sa character is based pud sa sa akong kaila para mas easy sa ako unsaon na kay syempre kabalo siya unsaon na kay siya man mismo ang akong gisulat, if that makes sense. Sorry.
So you think the realness of real people is very important in making films?
Half and half. Yes, but yes, yeah, I believe nga kay same sa giingon ni kinsa to ganin ni Sir Nikho Poro. Siya ba to tong actor? Tama sir no? Ana.
Yes.
Kaning ana siya nga kaning sa ko nakuha lugar siya kinahanglan gid ka nga immerse siya to ma-release niya ang emotion nga sa iyang gusto iingon. So motong to answer your question nga is it need nga realistic or not far from reality ang character, then say yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Carlin.
Makita naman sa jud nato na it happens in real life mga dili pagkasundo sa papa ug sa anak, like most of the time. And di jud nato na ikalimod. But what I did here sad sa film is that I really used realism na theory, and at the same time ni kuha sad kog actors nga non-actors jud to really portray the reality, kasi ang realism you have to use non-actors talaga so that you can portray the film na in a realistic way, which is what I did sa thesis film nako. Mo agi magud big mga theories, so ako siyang gi-apply para makita gyud sa mga tao ang emotions, though na ako'y gibutang nga formalism nga part, but gamay ra kaayo siya, but mostly ang murag tinud-anay jud nga situation ang ako ang and sa sa cinematography and other stuff gimix na lang nako para makita ang emotions and other, dito na ko gina-apply para makita gyud ang reality. So medyo libog akong explanation, but yeah.
Thank you, Carlin. Dili ikaw kung gikatawan na ako nakitang comment ng katawa ko. So Nikho, I just have a different question for Nikho. Before I move on, hi Chris Maru. Shout out daw. Ay. Anjing Films. May ganon. I have a different question for Nikho. I understand that you said earlier that the depth of an experience for an actor is very important at the time when you need to have emotions in the film. Do you think that you can still perform without having the experience, without having to experience what you need to perform?
I think
how
yes.
Close can you get?
Okay, I think yes. For me, growing up, I've always been fascinated by stories, so I always read books, stories, and it always gets me when it comes to emotional nga parts na sa kuan. I always think nga if I were in the shoes of the character, how would it feel? How would I feel? So not necessarily nga kanang naka-experience ka sa exact na paghitabo, but knowing the situation, that's why I think nindot yun mahibaw-an nimo ang whole story gid ba, asa gikan ang character, asa unsayang tumong, unsayang ginabuhat. Kay once you know those stuff man, you don't have to be in that same situation, but all you need to do is to kuha lang ka, hugot lang ka kung asa ka mo hugot nga dapit, and you think kanang if I were in that in his shoes, what would it be like? Kanang ina na ba? Unsa kay ako ma-feel ang kalagot ba, ang kasubo, ang kalipay. So ina na, para nako dili necessarily naagian nimo, but nindot kung naagian nimo kay naagit kay mahugot nga tarong ba nga imong emotions dali kay mahugot, but kana our minds, para nako kay our minds can go yun beyond what we have experienced yun, and you can pull emotions yun as long as you know how to imagine, you know how to think kana yun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Claire. We have Claire, right? Hi, Claire. I have a different question for you because I'm interested because I've seen your film. I was also one of the jury during Sinebugsay, but I find that you are very passionate in stories of people, particularly the people that are in the poverty line, and I like it. But at the same time, I want to understand, um, where is your fascination in stories about your town come from? I mean, I'm sorry. Where is the fascination of telling stories about the people in Caraga, for example, come from? Guys, help.
Naka-mute yata ka. Okay, na-delay lang. Na-delay lang.
Political vote buying, corruption, or should we say the government, the stories are the same, but these stories are familiar, but I wanted to see it in a different angle. Oh God. These films are they're based on real life. That's why I think most of these films they flow organically. But sa among film sa Alindahaw, we wanted to see it in a different angle. That's why kanang angle is perspective sa bata, which is si Boyeng. Kaya ang bata mong God is what he sees is what he receives, and then ang Alindahaw mismo, ang concept Alindahaw, it was not explained in the film, but ang perspective sa bata, abi niya ang Alindahaw, it's a good thing, it's a privilege, it's a blessing because nakatabang ang Alindahaw sa iyang lola or sa ilang family, but mo to nakita niya nga good thing ang Alindahaw, pero in real life, in the real world, good, it's definitely not a good thing. Did I answer the question?
Yeah. Thank you, Claire. Jay?
Okay, we start now taking questions from the audience. Pwede na ba ito mag-flash, Van? Kinsang first na pangutana. Oh, advice, Diane. From John Denver, what advice would you give to someone who wants to have a life creating film? So, anybody can start.
Jay, ikaw daw ma-answer, Ana. Let's take it from Koi. I think we should take it from Koi because Koi has the most years working in film.
Yeah.
So let's start with Koi.
Veteran.
Because I think this question is particularly for Koi. Because, like, for example, even I can't answer this question. Koi? You just haven't
siguro kung film, well, kadaghanan ko nakadungog ani nga even pagsugod pa lang nako na sa workshop namo nagsulito isa ka tong kumbaga among mentor na siya wala gid kwarta sa film. Pero pero I think kung gusto gid nimo mag-film, lahi mo gud ang ato adire sa South kung dili ta dadto sa Manila no. Pero ang kumbaga I think mas okay na balansihon nimo. Akong gibuhat magod kay yes nagabuhat og film but sa Pikas kay of course nani ako ang video production na business. And so diri ko sa video production na business din sa Davao mo akong bread and butter. But ako ang pinaka sa ba ng tawag ana kumbaga murag get
The soul.
murag ana siya ba is pagbuhat sa film labi na kung naay full lengths. So mura siya dira ko nagagawas og creativity kay diri magud sa video production na corporate kay yes gawas mo creative pero lahi gyud ang film na ipagawas mo na creativity pagabot sa film. So balance dapat siya, balance.
Jay, I think you also
Hello?
need to answer that question.
Bitaw Jay. I think dapat siguro mag-share pod ka.
Yeah.
Same lang man kay Coicoi.
I mean, as a film critic, because not all of us would know a life of a film critic, right? So as a film critic, maybe creating films at the same time because you also create films, what advice would you give John Mark and the filmmakers about this? Because as Koi said,
actually, sa tinod lang, not evading answer, pero I think mo ascribe ko sa answer ni Coicoi. I think it's a balance really of both practicality and kanang pursuing your passion. You just have to know the realities or context kung asa ka naga-work or asa ka nagapuyo. For example, I mean, if you're not living in Manila, then chances are lisod yun ang pag-break sa industry, you know, and you have to know your limitations, but at the same time, these limitations should not hinder you from pursuing your passion. So, balance lang yun siya, I think, of being practical and, you know, of pursuing your passion. Char!
Most filmmakers have their day job, especially if you come from Mindanao, for example. Because like if you're in the metro, I know a lot of filmmakers there and film workers who actually make a living out of this. But if you're coming from here in this part of the region, most of the filmmakers really have their day job because dili kaayo the industry is still growing in this part of the Philippines. So hindi dili pa siya as profitable as if for example you're working in Manila. Because big production houses are there. So you can work in the big production houses. But if you're saying Mindanao, it's quite tricky. You have to be practical at the same time. So let's move to another question, Jay. Shall we?
Or basig gusto pa mag-answer si Jill or
Okay.
Neo? Gusto na ko mabalaan ang opinion for example ni Jill who comes from a kanang nag-study man gyud siya og film no, cinema sa sa Cebu, no? So gusto na ko mabalaan na when you enter film school for example, naana ba sa imuhang sa imuhang mind na mag-filmmaker jud ka?
Actually, duha-duhaan ba ko anak before. But pag third year or fourth year high school na ko, dito na ko na-realize that I really want to pursue filmmaking. Then pag first year na ko, wala pa man jud mi sa filmmaking nga area ang among gi-studyhan. So basically more on drafting, so mga drawing pa, so more kami kay hala unsa man na sa mga nana nga mga reklamo. Then pag second year na ko, dito naman nisulod ang mga film theory, mga introduction to art, mga inana nga mga subjects. And at first gato ko nga dili na ako magustuhan basin maka-shift ko or whatsoever. And then hantod nga abot mi nga magsige na mig shoot every week, magsige na mi og sa mong cinematography nga class. So dito na ko naka-realize nga ganahan gyud ko sa akong course and gi-follow gyud na ako ug unsa akong passion. Ang imong giingon Jay is that follow your passion or unsa imong ganahan in life. So mura jud po na akong gibuhat to create films. I want to entertain people sa gusto na ako nga pamaagi. And yeah. So far mo na siya.
Do you think ba kuan it's really an advantage to go to film school, or what are other opportunities or avenues for young filmmakers na gusto nila i-pursue ilang craft na kung dili nila gusto mag join og film school or mag-enroll sa film school, unsang mga other options for them to hone their craft?
Siguro for me, depende naman sa tao if they want to, kaya naman may ubang tao nga ganahan ani nga certain part, like ganang sila og video, but more on video pero not into storytelling. Ang sa part maguna mo sa cinema is that nag-focus mi og different aspect. So we do screenwriting, we do cinematography, editing, murag among isuwayan ba if asa mi magtanahan. But for some people, like sa mga batanon karon, na may ganahan nga diretso na og video editing, mag-cinematographer. So siguro ang best way nila if di sila ganahan muadto sa film school is that pwede sila mo work with filmmakers, aspiring filmmakers sad, or ilarang i-continue ang pagbuhat sa unsay lang gusto. Pwede, like, we can make films regular sa like sa atong own ba, like unsay atong mga stories nga gusto i-share sa mga tao, mayanana. So dili siya necessary, depende na sa tao gyud if ganahan sila mag film school or dili, but na may mga disadvantage and advantage sa both sides.
Thank you for sharing that, Jill. Nana ba tayo next question, Dov? Do you have a next question or from the audience? Viewers di ay? Ano ba?
Sponsor daw kay Coicoi.
Okay. I think sa man kay Junlo. Hello, Junlo.
May tanong si Junlo na answer na yun.
Yeah, I think
pandemic
during the first round of questions, no, in a way na answer man to nilang how they responded to the pandemic. Lahi-lahi na pag-respond, no. Of course, some of the projects were stalled, were halted, pero nagapadayon pa pud with other pursuits, no. Ang uban nag embark on another creative and profit-making pursuits, no. But at the same time, nagyapoy uban nga nagaplano writing their stories, no, with the hope that they can shoot it, no. So mo to tong na-share nila ganina sa, I think mo man tong first question ni Rudolph. So kung napakay follow up, Jun, i-type lang sa comments. So sige, next question. Sige,
why is it important for Mindanao filmmakers to tell stories from Mindanao? Maybe una ko tanong ito siguro si Ryan because veteran na to siya sa
Go veteran.
Yeah, veteran. Go.
veteran. Kasi I remember the first year ko na Mindanao Film Fest, yung film na natin nanalo as best film.
Veteran ka na talaga.
That's 9 years ago naman ata yun. So, Rai, why is it important for Mindanao filmmakers to tell stories from Mindanao?
I think it's very important to tell our own stories, like whether or not you come from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. I think the authenticity of our stories. It's something that is innate in us and that is natural, and at the same time we understand it to the fullest. I have nothing against filmmakers who make uh, films that, for example, for a Visayas filmmaker making a Mindanaoan film. I have nothing against that, but how I wish that they really understood what they're saying. That's why for me, it is very important for Mindanao filmmakers to tell the stories of Mindanao because we understand it. Coming from Mindanao, growing up in Mindanao, we understand the complexity of lives of the Mindanaoan. We understand the complexity of culture, the multiculturalism, the sensitivities. Because, for example, me living in Zamboanga, there's a lot of sensitivities and there's a lot of considerations, and at the same time, there's a lot of nuances in our stories in Zamboanga. And whether I admit it or not, and whether I notice it or not, it comes through with my film. And and actually everything I do, the way I speak, maybe the way I compose myself, I think it's really come from who I am and how I develop, from which part of the country I live in. So yes, I believe in Mindanaoan telling their own stories because it is their stories, and it is how they live and breathe, and you know their heartbeats.
Okay, pwede ako follow up dito, Ryan, because
Yes,
yung Umbrella, yung mga grupo niyong Umbrellas,
umbrella picture. Yes,
Umbrella sila Adrian,
Steph.
yung early part yung pagsali niyo, do you collaborate na ito yung kwento, for example, di ba sila Adrian, ito
We're
yung kwento natin, meron ba kayong, di ba may kada sarili sila film, do you collaborate, do you bring inputs to each other?
we're pretty headstrong with our films. I mean, we take comments from each other, but actually, to be honest, we're pretty headstrong about what we're trying to say. And what I like about Adrian and Steph is that they're very supportive of. We are very supportive of each other. Whatever we want to tell, we support each other. So we don't really. There is a collaboration in a sense of, you know, um, we talk with each other, we know our sensibilities, and we know our fascinations at the same time. And I think it's also very important to respect our different fascinations because Jang, for example, sometimes I don't understand his mind. Seth, for example, have a different perspective in life. I think Seth is a very strong person and has a very strong personality, which I don't have actually. And Jang is a very quirky, very intelligent, smart, comedic filmmaker. And sometimes, even if I don't understand their films and even the conception of the film, I respect that and I trust that they will do something beautiful out of their concepts. So I think what you can get from here is we support each other. If you have friends that are also filmmakers, support their vision. You can contribute, you can ask them questions, but please don't discourage them of their own concept because you might not just fully understand what they're trying to say, but maybe trust them that in the process you will fully understand. Because sometimes I just understand their films when it's finished and I see it in the cinema and I can interpret it in so many ways. And I get amazed with Seth and Jang in that sense.
Sige. Siguro next si Claire.
I
We missed
didn't know
her.
na actually from Q&A, ha?
We missed her sa previous question. So ang question, Claire, is why is it important for Mindanaoan filmmakers to tell stories from Mindanao? Or if you want to go specific about it, why do you think um, filmmakers from Caraga should tell stories from Caraga?
I would agree to Direct Ryan na we Mindanaoans, we know the truth and we understand the concept. So it's our responsibility to create this as films and to tell the story. Yeah.
Thank you, Claire. Si Rod, how about Rod? Sa imong opinion ani Rod na question?
Nakamute si Rod.
Sorry. Okay. Tara. Oh. So, thank you. Yeah, I do agree sa ilang giingon and na ako'y na-learn. Hopefully po ang atong viewers, no? So, isa lang siguro akong maingon, akong i-add lang siguro is why do we need to make why do Mindanaoan filmmakers tell a Mindanao story? Because I think we have to. Because if we don't, someone will. Murag inana bitaw. And kung naay mas better understanding about Mindanao, kita siguro to, no? Maybe dili ako specifically, but kita as a filmmaker, mas better to understanding. Kung, I'm not limiting them, but, because naagid ate culture nga, sometimes pag makakita tag film nga based sa, sa Mindanao, and dili taga-angay, i-voice out nato. Sige lang tag-comment but dili na to gabuhaton. So I think wala akong takeaway adto. So
Siguro
thank you.
Siguro kay Coicoi, gusto na ko i-reframe gamay ang question. As a cinematographer, as a perspective sa cinematographer, why do you think Mindanao cinematographers, for example, should be the one to be able to depict or capture kung unsa tong sa lens na pud, no, sa lens sa Mindanao cinematographers, nganong importante na magikan sa inyong lens or sa inyong perspective ang pag-frame or pag-capture sa Mindanao stories?
Ako take Jace, mura pod siya ang director, ang filmmaker mismo nga sama gani sa giingon ni Ryan and nila Rod. Of course, nag-agree ko sa tanan. Idungag na lang pud ako. Kumbaga, ang katong giingon ni Sharad tong one time na lang istorya amin na kumbaga ang imuha mangong pagbuhat sa film is murag part magod sa imong sarili. So, I think mo gid to murag pinaka-core sa kuntubag sa imong pangutana. So, murag part sa imong sarili imong ihatag gihapon sa. So, yes, mo to.
Okay.
Si Neo.
Ako alam jud personally, ako ang observation sa akong films is na jud siya medyo western flair or kanang influenced jud siya by western things, pero katupod ang ako ang gusto ibutang nga side of Mindanao nga kanang kato nga naapoy inani nga part sa Mindanao nga mga tao, although kanang buji kay siya paminaon, pero kanang para sa ako kay importante man pud gud nga dili ka mo pander gani sa pananaw sa gawas sa Mindanao. You have to also look at kanang Mindanao the way you see it. So kung unsa imong nakit-an, so mao to imong ipasa sa ubang tao. So mao to ako, and also recently ra pud ko, like katong college pa, ako ang mga short films kay mga Tagalog ang language. So recently ra ko nag-adapt og Bisaya nga language, and more and more kay na in love gani ko sa pagtell og stories through that medium, kay na-realize nako ba nga murag kato na-disconnect pag nagatagalog ko sa akong mga short film, pero naay feeling nga murag connected ko sa story pag nagbisaya akong mga characters. So mga inana lang ang mga gagmay lang siya nga mga details, pero it helps turn your stories into something na real siya, na it could happen to people. So kato lang.
Interested ko sa take ni Jill, no, because nagskwela man ka sa Cebu, Jill, no, and I also know one other filmmaker from Cebu, si Neil, na gikan siya og I just recently learned last year kay ang iyang film katong walay
Umayan.
umayan sa tanglad
Umayan.
kay
Mm-mm.
based day siya sa Bukidnon, and then dito na ako nabalaan na taga Valencia day siya, no. So in a way maski dugay na siya nagpuyo sa Cebu or dugay na siya nag-eskwela, nibalik gyapon siya sa where he was born, no, which is in Valencia, Bukidnon, to make a film, no? So in a way naay murag a certain sense of reconnection sa inyo sa roots ninyo. Like for example sa imuha, nibalik ka sa Sindangan or kanang sa imong birthplace na to tell a story. So unsa ang take nimo ani na question? Why do we need for Mindanao filmmakers to tell stories from Mindanao?
For me, manggod kay there are so many beautiful stories to tell in Mindanao gyud. Like daghan jud kaayo nga wala pa bitaw nakita. And especially sa mga places pod uban nga siguro not all of us nakaadto na, but naa dito pod makanindot nga mga places to explore nga nindot syutan. Muna nga kay sometimes manggod for me, I don't know if para lang nako, but ang Mindanao magod ang tan-aw sa mga tao uban is that hadlok ang atong lugar. So in that sense pod, munang angay gyud mo tell og stories that we have to change the perspective of the people about Mindanao by sa atong story unsa kanindot ang Mindanao. So more sa tag promoting Mindanao pod at the same time while telling a story. So
Thank
yeah.
you. Nana ba tayo next question?
Are you committed to follow the new rules?
Protocol siguro na.
Ito yung joint administrative order.
Ayun na.
DCP, DOH.
Managad ni Rai. Sorry, Miss Diane.
Ikaw, Koy, ikaw. You're also engaged in
yeah.
video production.
Nag-shoot naman po mi, no? Pero, rules. Basically, akong gina-follow na rule is sama sa giingon pod ni Liza. Sa pagkasabot na ko, kumbaga, nagapangibabaw gihapon ng local rules than that of the JAW. So, wala kayo na ko to kumbaga gina-follow yun. Tawag ani. Yes, pero basically kanang iwas gihapon, ingat gihapon. So dili kay ko kumbaga self-care gyud siya that more than those rules.
I think ang ginamini Junlo is kasi yung new rules may magkuha ka ng safety officer.
Yeah.
And PPE.
Yeah.
Because most of us are shooting in guerrilla style, na kulang ang budget. Is it burden siya sa ating lalo na sa filmmakers? Or is it necessary?
Yeah. Necessary. For me, yes. Kung saan man nato ang film kung magkasakit ta tanan, no? Diba? So, dili gihapon na makabuhat og film. So, I think dapat mag-follow gihapon na sa rules.
Siguro to provide a context lang po sa atong mga viewers, no? Kay naman tayong mga nagtanaw na basig wala sila idea about ani. So ang question ni Junlo, nag-refer siya about rules, no? This actually refers to the joint administrative order that was issued by, this is a joint order, so daghang agencies ang tulo ka agencies.
FTCP, DOH, pati DOLE.
So they crafted guidelines for audiovisual or film production, no, o safety protocols, guidelines. Um, Pero ang main issue before was that the guidelines doesn't seem to reflect the realities sa regions because na-reflect sa guidelines are the big productions which are in Manila. So wala pa na-incorporate dito ang realities na gina-face nato as regional filmmakers, which is kadto we are shooting in guerrilla style and we are shooting less number of people compared to the big studio production. So mag-apply ba ang rules na to sa atuang lahi man ang atuang context. So mo to ang
Yeah,
basically
tama.
ang issue, no, kung asa nagaugat ang question ni Junlo. So sa mga uban sa inyong kuan ani, sa inyong take, sa inyong opinion.
Si Rod siguro because he's also engaging in videography, di ba, sa Cagayan de Oro?
Okay, yes, oo. Regarding sa rules, and yeah, katong gi-point out lagi ni Sir Jay ganina nga nga dili the same ang gibasihan ang rules sa taas and dili the same sa atwa din eh. But I can see it nga necessary siya because sa atong type of wala dili ta same sa company nga na hazard fee. I think inana siguro akong one, but burden ba siya? I'm not sure, but gapadayon since April non-stop magud gyapon ang among kay sa among LGU diri nami COVID response team, so kinahanglan nila og content like weekly. So luckily na part ko so actually since April wala gid na stop ang among shooting noon until now. So luckily safe man pod. And so sa ato ang like guerrilla style, kaysa amo government na mismo ningon sa amo ang okay lang. So dili na ko siya makita. It is necessary but not true to all. Siguro inana. At least ako.
Na ako idungag day, Jay. Tama to, dili gid siya mo agree gud pud ko na dili siya naga-apply sa to Pero si same ni Rod nga naga-shoot man gihapon ko bisan ingon ani and wala gid pud ko ga-follow gid pud rules kay kung mukuha man pud ko og safety officer una wala man pud kita dire. And I'm sure busy pud sila sa pag-respond. So kato dili kayo siya applicable mo agree gid dili applicable diri sa tua. Burden kung burden I'm speaking sa kaning video production not as filmmaker but kumbaga sa video production na sa whole burden siya, yes, kay
nagasto ka
magasto na pod ka so pero as much as possible of course gusto na tong musunod pero mo lagi dili man gud siya mo apply kanang sa tibok rules sa jaw. So yeah,
I think nag-mention man kag about safe pag kuha og safety officer.
yeah.
We're talking about occupational and safe tama ba? Occupational safety and health or OSH officer na siyang gina-require, diba? But ang question po is lahi-lahi man gud po ang OSH na ay OSH sa restaurant, for example, na ay OSH sa mga buildings, sa engineering na side, no? So saan pag-apply sa OSH principles sa filmmaking? Is it entirely new or bendable ba siya, no? So kana ang mga questions na wala pa ta kabalo, kanangan pa nato na siya nga i-explore, no, kung unsaon siya pag-apply sa filmmaking. How about sa uban? Isa pa ang naadira. Nagawala na sila.
Nawala.
Si Claire. Ikaw, Claire. Kay gikan man ni kay Junlo na question.
Hindi na sila ka-shoot. Lockdown. Ano ba?
Okay.
Mute ata, naka-mute ata.
So in my case nga nako diri sa Cebu stranded, I can't do outdoor shoots. And also my team is in Mindanao, so wala gid kay mabuhat even though nga follow rules, etc. But even though nga kaning pandemic has brought us difficulties and burdens, I think the good part here as filmmakers is that we have a lot more stories to tell. Mas daghan pa ta og storya nga ma-discover.
Sakto.
Thank you. Si Ryan.
Oh,
Sorry,
what's your...
nawala po. What's that?
Ha?
Na-question si Junlo, tubaga.
Unsa? How
Pero
are
nakalagay,
you?
how are you committed to follow the new rules given the most of us are used to the guerrilla style? Is it necessary or a burden?
To me, it's very subjective, and it should depend on the filmmaker and the region, because there are also safety protocols that the region is also putting out there. Just like what Coicoi said, it always must be safety first. So I think ang pinaka ano lang naman ng nung rules and regulations is to make sure that that we are safe and we are taken care of. I hope. And so yun. So on following the rules, I will follow some of it, but some of it is not applicable with where I am right now. So yun, I will follow what's applicable. I won't be too hard-headed on that. But to those that are not applicable in my place, in my region, then I will just forget about it.
Okay. Si Neo, baka i-report tayo ni Neo. Ha? So Neo, are you going to follow or to break your boss rules?
Again, to differ to what Miss Ryan was saying earlier is that although may mga protocols put in place, we also have local protocols to follow. So I think very important to just be very informed about those protocols and which ones apply to us or not. So right now, although I am willing to follow those protocols na binigay ng JAO, all it doesn't apply to me because wala kaming shooting of any kind right now, and also I'm working from home, so I'm very secure and safe here. So yun lang for me.
Okay, si Carlin,
Mhm.
si Carlin.
Yes po.
Yep.
What's the question po again?
Ito yung committed na kuha mo na yung JAO, no, yung Joint Administrative Order ng FDCP on governing shoots. Like, may dapat merong safety OSH officer, PPEs, and the rights. So, is it necessary kay guerrilla style? Mga dating, usually yung mga regional filmmakers, guerrilla filmmakers, no? Konti yung budget. So, is it necessary that you follow the rules or is it a burden?
Siguro for me, for safety na lang po, it's better to follow the rules. Though, yeah, it's a burden at the same time. Pero, it's for our own good na lang man din to really follow. Like sabi nila, it's better to be informed talaga. So, yeah. So,
okay, may question dito si Lou.
I think the real question here is, are we willing to shoot COVID? I think that's the
Are you
real
scared?
question, because
With
I'm not
COVID, are
willing
you?
to shoot during COVID. I mean, I'm not gonna put myself out there for the virus to take me out.
yeah.
But I understand, because there are also film workers who really need to work, diba? So if you can work, if
If it
you can
endangers you, then
stop
yeah.
working as of the moment, then maybe we could find another way.
Okay, from Lou Daniel, ako ko si what is the ako ko na kung nasagot na ba to because uh, what is the future of the filmmakers here in Mindanao considering the COVID-19 pandemic?
Or maybe in general na lang
Or
din, no?
general,
What do you think is the future of the filmmakers or future of filmmakers? The future of our cinema, no? Considering the current situation. How do you think the pandemic is reshaping cinema, no? Or the film?
It has made us go back to what only is necessary and to I think a more truthful storytelling, because sometimes at some point we have become, I for example personally, I have become very excessive with my films and with what I want to do, that it makes me unable to make one. But maybe with this pandemic it has brought me back to the core of why I'm making film, what are my films for, and the very basic and the very truth of your storytelling. I think that's for me. And shout out to Adrian Araujo is also watching. Hi, Jan.
hello, yung isang film na sa
Hello.
Himalaya, di ba? Yung
Yes.
film is in Displace sa Himalaya ba yun? That's
Yes, this place.
Isang next na mag-answer.
Congratulations, Jan.
Sinong next? Sinong Jay? Magsagot nitong question ni Lou. Siguro Neo. What's the future of the filmmakers? Ano yung tingin mo?
I think Mindanao filmmakers are a very different breed kay of filmmakers. Kay we're a very resilient bunch, and I think na kanang we are able to adapt with this kind of setup of filmmaking, and also by default rich naman jud kay itong mga stories dinhi, and we're just given this time to really write more amazing and authentic Mindanaoan stories. And kato lang ako maingon nga we're a different breed of filmmakers, and not even a pandemic can stop the brilliance of Mindanao filmmaking.
Wow. Miss Universe question. Answer. Sige, ikaw Koy. Say future. Napa ba tayo future?
Hindi na ako madaog jud ni siya sa Miss Universe.
Gani, o universe yung kayo og answer, no? Pero yeah, ma-agree man pod ko kay Ryan og kang tawagan ni Neo nga yeah, mo adapt gid ta even gani karon pa lang walang sugod naman pod tag yes kani online, so naagihapon lisod pero yeah musugakon gihapon ta tanan.
Amen.
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 Sinong pangalan sila? Rod.
Okay. Nakamute wala. So siguro kinahanglan po nato i-address no nga ang gatake og toll po daning pandemic karon isang cinema o ang movie houses. But I'm not sure kung mao lang bagi, same sa giingon ni Neo ganina nga flexible man ta og ready to adapt. And I don't think nga limited ta into movie houses or cinema lang atong avenue sa atong craft. But one thing, since COVID, negative na kay di na lang siguro na ako ilahos kita nga negative yung thought. But ang positive takeaway is, I think mas ni improve ta when it comes to problem solving. Kay naamagid as experience namo naami current project and nami project ni gihimo, but we have to rewrote it because kay mas expensive na kung mag-shoot ka sa gawas. So creativity-wise, yes, kinahanglan namo ma-flexible. And wala ko naingon nga kinahanglan ta mo stick sa mas simple nga way kay sometimes the easiest way is not the best way. O niya, so mao lang siguro to. Ganahan ako sa sa iyahang mula itong giingon ganina nga flexible og adapt and overcome. Thank you.
Si Jill.
So,
Nagkatawa sa flexible sa ba?
So mostly naingon naman nila tanan nga ang possible future nato sa Mindanao, but daghan online resources na pwede ta maka-share sa atong film. Mostly karon gani ang other movie houses kay like mga other companies kay nag-show na sila online. So maybe if dili man gani pa karon ang maayo ang kalibutan, but naagi hapoy future ang Mindanao filmmakers is kay napamatay online nga mga sources. We can upload it sa YouTube, Vimeo, or asa pa na. So, dili ta diri mahuman. So,
Amen.
Okay, kay Nikho.
Siguro sa perspective sa mga actors, no? Unsa ang future amidst this pandemic or after this pandemic?
I guess for me, kay kanang na-share man ako ganina nga kanang nahatagan ako og time kanang to more stories to kuan, but for kanaging in the future kay we can tell more stories effectively ba, we can express more emotions kay during this pandemic it's actually naging taking a toll in each one of us gani, and it affects us greatly in very different ways. And I guess moving forward, we can use those emotions, those things that has happened to us during this pandemic to propel us moving forward ba. And I agree with what you've said na Mindanao filmmakers are very resilient. So I think we everyone is being pushed to be more creative in their crafts and how to express their crafts and how to make it available and be seen gani. And I guess it's a very great opportunity kay it can actually make a break for everyone by especially here let's face it, we are the underdogs pa kay mostly Manila films are the ones that are being highlighted, Manila directors and whatnot. But kanang this time ba kay we can actually use of all the available platforms, especially let's say YouTube or what. Kay everything is accessible online naman, and I guess we can use this pandemic yun, moving forward po na after this, if there is something after pag yun, kay we can actually able to control ba nga naanatay certain audiences using these available platforms nga naanato during this pandemic. Kay moving forward, dili man gyud dayon ta maka-move on sa kung unsa ta before. So I guess like big cinemas will be little lang gid kaayo or not. So I guess kani gid nga kuan kay moving forward, it's a great opportunity. It can actually be used for us local filmmakers and actors to make it big, to be known and to be seen. Kana gyud. I guess there's a very big opportunity gyud with that.
Thank you, Nikho. And before nato malimtan si Claire, unsa imong take ani Claire nga koan nga question? What is the future of filmmakers in Mindanao or in general, given the pandemic situation?
Naka-mute siya?
Mute.
Balik na. I would definitely agree to everyone because as I said earlier, because of this pandemic, it gave us an opportunity bitaw nga to write or to create more stories that is relevant to what is happening today. So to answer the question, what is the future of Mindanao? If this pandemic would brought to an end, I think Mindanao would be filled with a lot of beautiful films. That would be it.
Thank you, Claire. Short and sweet jud kayo mga answer pirmi ni Claire, no? Ganahan ko. Agree ka, Ray? Short and sweet.
Okay.
Nakamute ka.
Okay, shout out to Lou Daniel and Hamir.
Mga
Another filmmakers. Wala ko'y pangutada. Okay,
I think muna to ang last question, Dolph, no? Tama ba? I think
si Jun muna last. Oo. Si Jun.
Ivan Dere. So last na yata to, I think. Based sa iyahang
Yes, wala nang questions.
Wrap up na.
So, wrap up na natin.
So, yeah. Maybe
na. Tulgo na kayo si tita.
One round of anang parting message, and this is also your opportunity to promote basig namoy gusto promote any initiative that you're undertaking, whether it's film or business. Any parting message? Sige, magsugod ka kay Rod.
So, okay. Kaya, mao to. So, bilangin ako lang ako lang yung ikuan is thank you for inviting me here and from ani nga platform nga yung gihatag para sa amoa nga dili kaayo reach when it comes to narrative filmmaking ang imuhang city mismo. So, wala siguro to. Thank you kayo.
Thank you, Rod. Si Jill, any last message?
Same. I'd like to thank you guys for the opportunity nga nihatag na sad mong opportunity na ipakita na sad among film balik through YouTube. So thankful kay mi ana, and thank you sad sa tanan nga nananaw and support namo tanan karong gabi una, and then may tag safe from mo tanan. Thank you.
Same po sa imo diha, Claire, Jill, Sindangan. How about Neo?
So, Kato, again, thank you guys sa opportunity to Kato, screen the film online for this one. Also, congratulations sa atong tanan mga filmmakers, no? Amazing kayo yung mga film.
Something to promote.
Kato, i-promote lang nako ang Middle Magazine. So, we are starting an online magazine. Startup lang siya, wala kami kwartaan ni, pero passionate lang mi about this. We're telling stories about young Mindanaon people. Anything Mindanaon, we're game of adto lang sa website middleph.com. Middle meaning tunga, middleph.com. Also, kato lang, visit Cinematech Center Davao nga social media. Kato lang. Thank you.
Thanks, Neo. Si Nikho, nakay gusto i-promote Nix or any parting message?
Na-off yata si Nikho.
Na-off siya. Sige, ikaw sa koy. Kanilang koy.
Well, salamat sa pag-invite, and then congratulations, Dax. Sa mga tao behind Mindanao Film. Salamat sa padayon bisag ingon ani ang atong sitwasyon. Padayon gihapon gyud unta mo. And stay safe. Kato lang. Good evening.
And regards to Kisha, nasa
yes.
Kilig.
Yeah, nagpahaway.
Sige. Si Nikho. Thanks, Koy.
Thank you very much for kanang giving the platform to let like small actors and filmmakers to be seen, especially in Mindanao. So thank you very much sa MFF and to everyone made this possible. And to all our viewers, thank you very much and continue to stay safe and stay at home kung walay kinahanglan gaws. Okay. Thank you.
Friendly reminder from Nikho. Sige, si Claire. Any last message, Claire, or anything you want to promote?
Okay. Above all, mag-thank you lang gid ko sa Mindanao Film Festival for this initiative. Sa last film fest kay wala gid ko personally naka-attend because nako diri sa Cebuan, ako lang classmates ang nag-represent. Pero thankful gid ko karon kay natagaan og opportunity to talk about my film. So thank you kaayo, and to all the people behind MFF, salamat kaayo. And also isa na ko malimtan, thank you Sinibugsay, shout out kay Sir John Lo, and lastly pod sa cast and crew, to the team nga nasa Mindanao, thank you kaayo for believing the film, and to all, keep safe, and thank you for tonight.
Thank you, Claire. I think gwapo tong na-mention ni Claire, and I think na-mention po ni Jill kaganina no na kanang this is what the pandemic also was able to do, was to give a chance no sa tong mga filmmakers na dili makaadto sa Davao last time sa Mindanao Film Fest, no, and for them to have a platform like this online para ma-continue ang discourse sa films nila, not just stopping there sa kanang screening, no. And I think this is one of the good ways in a way na hatag ang pandemic because of this, nung naing ani na mga opportunities for us to gather online, virtually, even though remotely, but close gihapon virtually, no. Sige. Ikaw, Rai, do you have anything? You have. I'm sure you have something to promote.
Nothing to promote. In behalf of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, National Committee on Cinema, I'd like to thank MFF for this initiative and continuing amidst the pandemic your role in the society and your advocacy in promoting Mindanaoan film to Mindanaoans and the rest of the Philippines. So congratulations, Dax. Congratulations, Rudolph. Congratulations. I forgot the name.
Ivan.
Yeah. Also, congratulations, Jay, for a wonderful discussion tonight. And I think this is what we really need. We cannot deny that the Philippine cinema or the cinema itself has been hurt so much by the pandemic, and it is in these kinds of initiative that we ensure that it will have life even after the pandemic and during the pandemic. So thank you so much, and I hope this continues, even the pandemic continues. So, and congratulations to all filmmakers. Your films are wonderful. Thank you. Shout out to Chris Maru again. Hi.
Wow, di ba makalimtan?
Wow.
How about Peachy Factory?
And sige na nga, ipopromote ko na nga. Like us on Facebook, Pitchy Factory. I make all the ice creams there.
Yeah. And na-mention mo ganina, di ba, that we have a film in Cinemalaya, si Adrian has a film in Cinemalaya.
Congratulations, Adrian Araujo, for Displaced. One of the films for exhibition, short films for exhibition in Cinemalaya this year. Congratulations, Adrian.
So Adrian is also from Zamboanga.
There's another film ko na sa taga isang MFF, si Jermaine Tulbo, yung pinakamabag-bag damdamin. Si Jermaine is...
also, wait, sorry. Sunny Calvento for Excuse Me, Miss, one of the finalists this year's Cinemalaya. And sorry, Ivan, for forgetting your name. Nag-chat talaga siya. Anak ka.
Sige, ikaw daw.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you sa lahat. Maski gabi na. You shared your time. And again, kailan ba next ko? Ng third week na ba next, no?
So this is the second wave, no? So the NFF reruns or strike back, we do it for the month of August every Friday and Saturday night, no? So na tayong mga screenings for the month of August to be followed by a talk back after. So stay tuned lang mo sa Facebook page sa Mindanao Film Festival and subscribe to the YouTube channel para ma-alert mo every time na ay upcoming na screenings, no? So napatay mga 6 or 5 batches
Wait.
of films, no? For this month. So yun, once again, thank you very much sa mga filmmakers for giving us your time, no, despite the very late hour, Saturday pa jud. I hope we wish you all the best sa inyong mga endeavors, whether it's film or non-film or any creative endeavor that you are going to embark in the future. The Mindanao Film Festival will be here to welcome your films. If you decide to submit or make another film in the future, in the next year, in the coming years, no. So, yun. Thank you very much for joining. Maayong gabi sa tanan and thank you po sa atong mga viewers nga nag-watch and who participated in the talkback session. I hope you learned a lot from our filmmakers tonight. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Rudolph.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hey,
kay
sorry.
Dax.
Okay.
And
Thank you, Del Solare and Dr. Mike D for my skin.
bye. Ang gabi sa tanan.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.